So in addition to maple, there are some other kinds of trees that have become more interesting, particularly lately. I've noticed people now talking a lot more about tapping birch trees. If on your wood lot you have both birch and maple, you can tap your maple trees in early March when the temperature is fluctuating between freezing and thawing temperatures during the day until they begin to bloom. And right before they begin to bloom, then you want to stop collecting sap from maples. But at about that same time, you can shift to tapping birch trees. Birch trees use an entirely different mechanism to create the sugar concentration in their wood. So just as the birch is beginning to leaf out, its sugars convert to starch. And that changes the osmotic pressure, and so the water is drawn into that sugar that they're making. So rather than this gas phenomena that depends upon warm and cold night and day, the birch tree just depends upon the time of year, just as the leaves are opening on the birch. So water will be floating in from the roots in order to dilute that high concentration of sugar that the birch makes in its wood. So when you tap the birch, you're going to get a very fast flow, but it's only going to last a week. But you'll get gallons and gallons of sap a day from each spile. So the way a lot of people are doing it is in May and into April, or in March and into April, they'll tap their maple trees. When that season begins to dry out, they'll shift their taps to the birch trees and collect that sap, and then boil it down the same way to get to about the same concentration. And birch sap is not the same as maple syrup, but birch syrup has its own unique flavor, and we eat it even like we do maple syrup, but it does have a different flavor. Traditionally, it's been used more as a marinade for meat or other kinds of condiments, or also sometimes birch is fermented into an alcoholic drink. So it's gaining in popularity. I've noticed in the last year or two, you can actually buy birch syrup at the store, whereas 10 years ago it was pretty rare. So this is sort of an up-and-coming thing that people are now doing, because you do get a lot of sap from the birch. They are only about 1% sugar, so it does take additional boiling down. So from 100 liters of sap, they'll get 1 liter of syrup.